hope that's correct. Is that correct?
You did correct.
Okay, so we're going to do an exclusive interview, see what's going on with Rhonda, check in with her, see how she's doing in COVID times and what's her future as we kind of move into this new normal. 1 second.
Thank you.
So how have you been? Tell us a little bit what's been going on with you in the last few months.
Well, you know, COVID for everyone has been a challenge. I think we all have been looking for a little comfort food. I know I put on the COVID 10 and the COVID 15, and now I am determined to get it off because just like every year when I try a new pageant, it's a deadline. It's something that I need to do to get myself organized because I am the first one to put myself on the back burner, take care of my family, eat wrong, you know, do unhealthy things. And when I do those things, I pack on the pounds and my health is jeopardized.
Well, you look fabulous. I don't think you've gotten any Corona 10 pounds. I know you've lost a lot of weight in the last couple of years and you look fabulous. So I don't know how you'll have to tell us a little bit about your beauty regimen, like what you do. But I wanted to ask you, so with your title now, tell us a little bit about the title you hold and what you've been doing for appearances.
Well, that would be titles.
Okay. I know you do a lot.
I'm a multi-international title holder, and I'm a lifetime legacy queen of today's International Woman. I am a lifetime queen of the All-American pageant. I am the Ultimate Mrs., which is a national title for this year. I'm also Mrs. Global America. They asked me to represent it again for this year. Finished competing in December and got the title of Mid-Atlantic Role Model for the Royal International Miss System.
How do you keep up with all that? That's a lot.
I'm tired. I mean, I'm retired, Linda. I'm retired. I worked for, in the corporate world nearly 50 years. Matter of fact, I started at 16 modeling. And now I'm 66 and I'm back into modeling, but that's another story.
But you look fabulous. I would never, it's not even an age thing, but you look, I would say 45, like you look great.
Ooh, thank you. And as you know, one of those things in that every shoe counts, I was in that fashion show and you were ramrodding that whole event, weren't you?
Yeah, and it's a little I met Rhonda about 5 years ago for Runway for Life benefit, Every Shoe Counts, the first one. We were planning number 2 in June, but because of COVID, I think we're definitely going to have to delay it. But Rhonda definitely modeled with the title holders in the first one. I was looking forward to having you back. That was going to be on 20F Street Northwest on the rooftop, but I think it's best just with everything going on. DC hasn't gone into stage 1. That I think we're going to kind of push that back a little bit when everybody feels a little more comfortable. But I was so excited for this year. I'd waited 5 years for that venue to do it again. So that was a 5th year anniversary, but we'll do it again. We'll figure it out a little bit later. But tell us about, I know you modeled in New York Fashion Week at High Tech Moda. What was that like?
Well, that's what I was saying. Doing that as a title holder for you kind of ignited that spark, ignited that dream that I thought was dead when I was 16 years old. And me, over 60 years old, walking a runway. And then when I went to New York Fashion Week, and it'll be my 3rd year if we go this year. So when I went to New York Fashion Week, I just this is just such an opportunity. I was just enjoying being there. And of course, looking at all the fashions. And I went up there and I was a size 8. So I wasn't the size 2-4 that was on the runway.
Right.
But I still, I wore some beautiful outfits and I worked with the designers, and it's always about hurry up and wait. It's a very, very long day in New York. You get up and you're freshly showered and everything is taken care of, and you're just waiting around because those productions are huge. Yeah. And you're in this huge room, and how they're going to social distance that, I do not know how they're going to do it. And then of course you meet with your designers and you get to try on the outfits, and they tag them and bag them basically for, and you know how it is behind the scenes in a fashion.
it's hectic. You got hair and makeup, and you have hair and makeup going on. Models get there. If the show's at like say 3 in the afternoon, you're getting there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're doing fittings, you're getting ready, you're working with the designers, you're working with the hairstylists, the makeup artists. And then as now I do a lot of media, I just went to New York Fashion Week. We come in and it's showtime, you know, and some of the shows are quick. They're 30 minutes and then we're back
I
in
know.
the next one.
And you're there, our call time is 8 a.m. in the morning or 9 a.m. in the morning, and your show is until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. So you basically need to be smart about it. You need to bring some water. You need to bring some food. You need to bring some little tangerines. The orange in that is very, very good for you because it's easy to get caught up in junk food or carry-out food. The bigger events will have good food for you. They will have
exactly. Like I tried, and I did that. I had a caterer, and for a caterer, did some food trays for the models. We definitely had food, water, beverages. Models don't eat a lot, so it's not like you have to have a lot. But they definitely need something to keep them going, and definitely having the water. They don't tend to want too much juice or anything, too much sugar, but
No.
I definitely think it's important to hydrate and keep yourself ready to go and fresh for the runway. It's long days, and it's not all glamorous. Trust me, it's long days.
And the same thing in some movies that I've been in. It's a 5 a.m. call time, and then you sit and wait, and just for a half-hour shooting. But it's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of interesting people. And of course, New York Fashion Week, I got to be in that several times and doing some local fashion shows. And then I was at the Icon Modeling Fashion in Chicago. So that was really a lot of fun this past January, right before we all locked down. And that was interesting because, and I know I sent you the pictures ahead. I was wearing,
I'm so excited to post them.
As the runway silver fox, because I learned in New York Fashion Week that being 65 and over, being a senior model is a thing, or being a lifestyle model is a thing. You don't need to be a size 2-4, although it probably helps to get down to a 4. I will keep trying on that.
Yeah, it's tough. It gets harder. It's tough.
It gets harder. And Linda, I don't know how old you are. You always look so fresh, but every decade it gets even harder. And that's what, here's a tip, girls. You talk about models not eating too much sugar. I realized I had advanced Lyme disease about 3 years ago. I'd had it all my life since I was 8 years old. And I had all of these different maladies, the heart arrhythmia, the stroke, all different kinds of things were going on. I hurt all over. I would bruise all over my body. Didn't know what was going on. Then I got bit by another tick. I say God sent that tick to bite me. Thank you, God.
Disease is brutal.
I got diagnosed by my primary care physician. They did not take blood. And you got to understand the CDC, the way they count things. They only count it if you take a test and it's confirmed. So maybe on this coronavirus, it's only the ones that are confirmed, because I know on the Lyme disease, it was the only ones that were confirmed by the blood test that you had Lyme disease would they count. Well, of course, primary care physicians and all of them were just diagnosing based on symptoms and what they saw. And mine were very atypical symptoms. No bullseye rash. I had, the tick was not on me very long. These are two things that you think that you need to have, that tick to be on you and to have a bullseye rash. I didn't have either one.
Wow.
But I got later down on my leg, way up, and that diagnosed me. And they gave me the normal treatment, which is, hey, here's 15 days of doxycycline. Didn't work, made me sick, and maybe a little bit better, but not much. I didn't realize then that by taking the doxycycline, I was actually beating back the Lyme disease. But they weren't dead. They were going to come back. It's just like, that's why they say when you have Lyme disease, you'll never get better.
Right. Sorry, I heard that the ticks are brutal. Like, just, you got to be so careful now. When my son actually had Lyme's disease younger, but the antibiotics works. Like we caught it early. He did have a bullseye and he did have the tick bite. So definitely, ladies, please be careful out there. It's not just COVID times. We've got the ticks coming. I know we have those hornets coming. We have it's always something out there. But I'm glad you look good. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Well, that was the Lyme disease treatment. Lyme disease attacks your collagen. Lyme disease attacks your tissues. I had a hip replacement. My shoulders were ripping loose. And, you know, the doctor will say, you're getting older. I had arthritis throughout my body. I couldn't even high heels to go on the fashion runway. But after the treatment of the Lyme disease, I started feeling a lot better, and I could walk, and I didn't hurt all over. Part of the Lyme disease treatment required me to give up all sugar.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's keto. You can't sugar. Sugar, if you have Lyme disease or any other autoimmune disease, or just basically for health, you got to stay away from it. The doctor will tell you, don't eat the pasta, don't eat the bread. Well, you know,
Too. That's the good stuff. The sugar and the pasta, and, you know, but I know I'm trying to right now kind of eliminate more sugar and not do the bread and the pastas. And, you know, you don't have to put the bun on the sandwich or the, you know, the chicken sandwich or the burgers. But I also wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit and tell us a little bit about crown clips.
Oh, crown clips. I sent you a picture about crown clips. Crown clips is something that I invented when I was Mrs. Virginia, and was back in 1995. And I had a beautiful crown, and I was going over to Charlottesville to read a book with some of the children over there at the library. And when I did that, you know, the kids, they all want to try on the crown.
Yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely.
their question, how do you keep that crown on? And the reason they're asking it is because they want to try it on themselves.
Right.
So I take my crown off and I put it on the child. She runs and takes off in the library, and it had a linoleum hard floor. And of course the crown fell off.
Right.
Broke. She brought it back, the pieces, and she was crying. And I said, just come, sweetie, it's okay. We'll still get our picture. So I put the crown on and kind of held it and put the other piece in my bag. On the way back, it was an hour drive over the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, I'm from Charlottesville, so I grew up there. Yeah.
So I'm going up the mountain thinking, Lord, and I absolutely said this. I said, God, you know, this needs to be a way to secure the crown on the head and not have it fall off. And so I got home and I started messing around with different things to secure it and using a little engineering. And I came up with crown clips, improved on it, and got my first provisional patent within a year.
Oh, wow. So how was it getting the patent? Was that like a long process, or?
Well, at the time, the Lyme disease hadn't hit my brain yet. So I was, at that time, I was able to look at the things and read through them and actually fill it out myself.
Nice.
And I got the patent within a month. You know, I knew I had. That's what you need to do. You need to get that provisional patent, because patents are expensive. I'm talking $4,000 or $5,000 for a patent.
Right.
Where a provisional patent would be under $100.
Okay.
I think it's $125 now.
That's if you have an idea out there, you definitely want a patent. You don't want people taking your ideas. You don't want people running with them. And so she's the owner, founder of Crown Clips. So for all those tiaras, we do I have a little podcast, not little, it's growing, but called Princess Chronicles ×2, and we're wearing tiaras. So I'm going to have to definitely check out those Crown Clips, everybody. So I know we're going to, with the pageantry, the tiaras, what is 2020 like for appearances? Now, like, are you doing more virtual appearance? I saw a virtual parade for the Memorial Day weekend from one system where everybody took a picture, held up a flag, and they kind of did a virtual parade. What do you think is going to happen to you as we move like into we're going into June, we're going into almost 6 months into 2020, going into more summer than fall. What do you see on your calendar? Like, how are you going to represent your titles?
Oh, well, that is something for me. I had a very good friend once. She's a very beautiful Christian woman, and she was part of my Habitat for Humanity ministry with Family Partnership. And she always said to me, pain to purpose. And she looked at me and she said, I said, well, how did you know what to do after this happened to you? And she said, God told me to do what was in front of me. So when COVID hit, I just been doing what God has put in front of me. I can't do my talks. I'm a global Lyme Alliance educational ambassador for Lyme disease. Okay. And have a program that we go into the elementary schools with. I can't go into the classroom and be with the children because the schools are all closed.
Right.
So I do a show called TikTok. So I'm had to learn how to do.
Wow, you're so innovative. Like, I know, like, my daughter is 21. I'm kind of giving away some of my age here. And they love TikTok. So you're going to have to teach me. I've been wanting, she's like, Mom, you're too old to do TikTok. I'm not too old. No.
No, no, no. No, not TikTok, the app. I started TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
Play on words.
ALK. I was thinking TikTok.
So I do that, and I do little shows, and then we put them out there, and I have it on my Valley Lyme support forum page. And you know what really makes the difference to me is when I change someone's life. When someone says to me, Rhonda, thank you so much for that message. I'm glad you came and spoke to so-and-so and told us about that, because I sought help and the person got better. You know, you're saving lives here, because Lyme diseases can be devastating, especially if you're not first bitten, like was it your cousin?
My son, yeah, he
Your
was
son?
he was like 5, but like I said, they caught it early. The antibiotics worked. I was nervous because it never really 100%. They'll test positive usually after the fact. This doctor was telling me, but the antibiotics, we caught it early. We saw the bullseye, saw the tick. I know he had gotten just from playing in the woods, and so he was lucky in that fact. But I know that I know several ladies, several girlfriends of mine that have had Lyme's or still have it, and it's a struggle. It really is.
And if they will go to my Valley Lyme Support Forum page, which is a Facebook page, and ask to join, I have the protocol, which is very inexpensive, that a doctor can prescribe for them. Basically, it works on the principle of using antibiotics, but less antibiotics in a pulsed format that will not allow the spirochetes, which is the agent in your body which is making you sick, to multiply and go into they don't multiply, they actually go into a round cyst. And when they do that, when they're getting hit with those really high doses of doxy, they're the round cyst. Now, when are they going to hatch out? And this happens whether you're 5 years old or whatever. Yes, they beat them back, but those round cysts will hatch out when your body cannot naturally fight immunity. And this is an issue with COVID. We have to keep our immunities up, right?
Right. And a lot of people I know are doing a lot of vitamin regimen, just lots of vitamins and supplements and boosting that immune system. So I know there's a lot, I don't want to get into the whole masks, no masks, or, all this with COVID, because right now I know it's very controversial. I like it. Love it. I love the designer masks. So many designers out there. I love the fashion. Of course, I love the fashionable masks.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're right.
Some beautiful ones. I saw the one with the big pink bow going up like this. It looked fantastic.
But I don't see a lot of them out around here. Like I do, most people are just wearing the medical masks, but mine's a polka dotted mask, and I do love the
fashion. I have polka dots on today.
Polka dots are my favorite. But tell us, before we conclude our interview, it's been great talking with you. You've given us so much good information. You're a veteran in the pageant industry, very a role model, and I know you've done so much with different nonprofits, but also what's important to us as women is we do like to make sure we look good and feel good mentally and physically. So tell us a little bit about your beauty regimen. What do you do to look so fabulous as you've gotten a little bit older? You look great.
Yeah. It's simple. I was 30 years old when a friend introduced me to a product called Metrin. I sent you a picture.
Yeah, I have it. I'm going to put that on the interview too.
And this is a skincare regimen, and it's been in business for almost 100 years. The matriarch is 90 years old, and she does, her skin is flawless. Your good makeup starts with flawless skin, right?
Right.
Whenever I'm in the chair of a makeup artist and they're doing my makeup for a shoot, they say, "Oh my God, your skin." They can't, like you say. So flawless skin. And you think you have good skin? Well, just try that Metrin product. My mother started it at 65, and she called it a facelift in the bottle. And it is pretty amazing. I try to use it twice a day. And, take your makeup off at night. That's important.
Right.
I tell you, I like lashes, but as you get older, they get sparse, so I have to wear lashes.
And I like the magnetic ones now. That's what I didn't put them on today, but that's what I've been doing. I got some of the magnetic. For me, that works great. It's not the glue. You just put the eyeliner and you right on top. That works great for me.
Do you find your lashes grow better by using the magnetic ones?
I tried to put the eyelashes, the actual one, where you get them done, but it ruined my eyelashes. They actually got thinner. But yeah, I just started using the magnetic ones, and it works for me because the glue bothers me. Like glue, magnetic is simple. You just pop it on there. I just cut the ends, just do it on the corners. And it's great for me because, you know, my eyes aren't super big and I can make them too small if the lashes are too thick. Like they might have to be long and thin. So that's what,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And another tip, as you get older, your eyebrows get, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Here's my hack, girls. You go to the grocery store or wherever you get your drugstore makeup, and you get something for men. It's called Just for Men Beard and Mustache. You get it in the color that is closest to what you want your eyebrows to be. I use, this is actually, and you use that color and you mix it up. It's about $9 and it'll last you months and months and months. You mix it up, and then with a Q-tip, you put the color on your eyebrow. It's going to pop it up. Now, I did something big this year, right before COVID hit. I had my eyebrows microbladed. I just went and did it. I was tired of filling them in.
I heard
But they
something.
still get the gray crazies coming out.
I know some of the grooming right now in COVID, some of the men, I definitely need those salons and barbershops to open up. But you've been looking fabulous. And I want to thank you so much for spending some time today with Fashion of Nova DC in Maryland and Linda on the Town. And we're going to be posting this, Rhonda, on Fashion of Nova. Any parting words?
Thank you so much. I love seeing you. I wish I was hugging you in person.
Me too.
Here's a
Me too.
cool hug.
Me too. And we'll get back on the runway very soon. I'm hoping, you know, we just got to get through the COVID, make sure everybody's safe. Can't get together yet, but we're going to get there. Fashion world, we are. So anyway, have a great rest of the day. And thank you so much for coming out today.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.